Right, ignore my dirty carpet. None of my blankets are in my room right now because this is my last day in my room for a certain amount of time. I'm unsure, but family's visiting, so I'm getting screwed over and I have to sleep on my sister's couch. So I finished the sketchbook yesterday, put the final touches on it today, and it took me way longer than I was expecting. I thought I could maybe get through, I thought I could get through 2 sketchbooks this summer, but finished this July 22nd. Nothing crazy to say about these stickers. I think I have a video of putting these and the front ones. This one I got from Lemonade War, which elementary started doing a couple years ago, but every year at the end of the school year they sell lemonade, see which class gets the most. I got this from when they did the graduation where you walk with the elementary kids, and another class was giving out stickers to them and I got one. So, and this is from when I bought felt for my senior jean patches, which I still haven't started yet, so I should probably start that. So the sketchbook actually comes with a quote at the end that has an error, right there, 2 spaces. Shame on them. And here, right here is the starting page, which I sketched the 25th of May, and then I finished it 2 weeks ago, maybe one. I don't know, I finished it pretty far into the sketchbook because I just never felt like coloring it. Did not practice really, I'll be honest. A lot of this is just busts of my characters. At least I finished this green pen, which I have been wanting to finish for so long. I think I started using it in sketchbook number 3 and I'm on 8, so I was getting really sick of it. First spread, I wasn't sure what to do with it for a while, and I was just staring at it at school. Then my friend gave me this piece of tape, and then I had the idea of taping it onto here with this. This is the sketchbook I got, by the way. It was a 2-pack for pretty cheap. And so then I started, working on sunflowers, and I was like, okay, well, what character to associate with sunflowers? And it's obviously fake sun goddess. Yeah, I do like this spread. Not amazing, but it's pretty good, and it's a very fun start. Then here, Carter. I really like this kinglet. Very cute. And here are some band doodles. Let me... Here I have a fortune teller, and in the center of it, I can't show it because it's my sophomore year chemistry teacher, because he had coloring sheets of it that year. And so, one I colored and the other one I did a fortune teller, and so I would do it with people, and then the big reveal would be their future is him. And I found it in my backpack when I was cleaning it out, so I put it in here. And this is a counter for teacher roasts, because we had an assignment from my math teacher where you had to put memes for each slide, and I was kind of being a jerk. I mean, I'm doing way more than you guys. And I think I did as much as both of them combined, or a little more. And sadly, I'm covering up a card I got from a fellow student where they started a card cleaning company, and it's just a super trashy AI art business card. So, and I have Rainier here. But the thing is, this lined blue paper was not the plan. I actually made it so it would be white in the inside, but I forgot the second eye, so I just had to cover it up. And this one, majority of the drawing is covered because I drew her naked, which I don't think it's a very graphic one, but I don't want to show anybody that if they aren't expecting it, Back here I have the lyrics to Creature by Half Alive, which I was really obsessed with the song at the time. And here I had to make a sonnet for ELA, and I liked it. It was based off of this drawing, that I had done day prior in the song, so I decided to rewrite it and stick it onto here. And here's just some random stuff and some garbage I had in my bag. It was my school schedule and like the time classes ended. Some practice random sketches. And then here I went to an outdoor mall. Yeah. Here just like I went to an outdoor mall and I was just trying to draw people quickly. I didn't do that good of a job, but not terrible. Yeah, literally every guy had the same exact like basic outfits, and so I mainly drew girls, and I wanted to draw guys, but like there was nothing interesting. I only drew that one because he had like pretty short shorts. And my Amazon order came of supplies for senior jeans, and then I never ended up using the rest of the page for like swatching anything, so I just filled it with a bunch of stickers. Here, Daria and Arnon. Funny thing is, I changed Arnon's name that day because it had been Brooke, and I named it that, and I really liked it. Until I discovered from my sister that that's the name of a One Piece pirate. I'll be honest, I shipped Daria with Damian Wayne, the fourth Robin, and so I was kind of like, okay, what character is like kind of similar, but you know, I think she would get along with and date. And so that's Arnon. He can tell the future. I was at my cousin's graduation party and there was like little name tags for each of the plates, so I stuck that in there. Here is Mark and Mac, which it's the audio for a YouTube short of two guys where it's like it should be a musical. It was really good, and I wrote the lyrics down. This was my June calendar. I think when I do calendars in my sketchbooks in the future, I'll try to do it on a piece of paper and then like tape it in, glue it in so it takes up less space, because there's like not enough happening for it to be worth an entire spread. Here is Atticus leaning on a tree. And a hardtack recipe, because I was making hardtack for a potluck, because it was kind of like an inside joke between the class, because I served everyone hardtack, or for like a final the first semester, as well as sponge cake from Civil War era. And here are the first four members, like the original members of my pirate crew SCs, and pirates ate hardtack, so I was thinking about them. And of course the prince would complain a little because they'd have to eat a lot of hardtack, especially before getting a chef. Here's a card I got that we wrote on the school trip, and then they got sent. It took a really long time. Yeah, then I drew like some jellyfish here because obviously I was very obsessed with Daria on the trip. And I drew her on here. Some animals. Or here I actually have a visitor tag for the school of my mom, because she came and helped with, what's it called? Field day. Yeah, but it was for middle school and not high school, so I didn't get to see her. And I was gonna get my community service hours signed that day after school and turn it in, but the teacher I needed it signed from, she wasn't there. So I had to, me and my friend, final day, we had to get it signed and then quickly go over to the counselors and get it turned in. Since if we didn't turn it in before school ended, we basically wouldn't be able to graduate unless like we begged them to still accept the community service hours. Here my friend gave me this from field day, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I was in some candy thing. I have here True, and then here Maeve. I kept the last week of school, I forgot my phone like twice, I think Tuesday and Thursday, yeah, which was really funny. I think I ended up emailing my mom Thursday like, oh, I forgot my phone again, let me know if I'm getting picked up at a different spot. And then here, such an awful day. Since I've been banned, I had to play for graduation, and the call time was literally like 30 minutes after school, or like an hour, but you know, an hour is not enough time. And then I didn't want my mom to have to drive to the location, drive back home, and then drive back again for the practice, like sound check, and then drive me back home, and then drive me back there for playing, and then she'd have to drive back home, and then she'd have to pick me up again, and that'd be 4 trips for her. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have her drop me off once, and then I'm gonna just deal with it. And so I was there for like 6 hours, and it was genuinely such an awful experience. I got so bored. Yeah, so that's why there's a lot of writing. I was complaining a lot. And here's Igus. And then I just did the first panel, but I never did much. I started this Half Alive Creature, you know. I really like the song, but like I genuinely, I just can't finish storyboards. I've like only ever done it once, and it's a struggle. Actually, I've finished a storyboard twice, but the reason is for one of them, the song. I think both of them, the songs are like less than a minute long, so if I want to animate something, I probably should have just done something 30 seconds long. And Madeline, I don't have much with Madeline. I guess I'll talk about her with this one specific drawing in number 5, because she is kind of a yandere, I guess. I don't know with her. I kind of made her on a whim. And then June 7th, written out instead of being a 6. I actually, when I put the wrong your, but I don't have that pen anymore, so I can't fix it. But yeah, I was looking at it earlier when I was putting sticky notes to cover information, and I was like, why did I say you're welcome? What did I mean? And then I realized, like, oh. I was watching One Piece. Right now, then I was at Skype. I finished off now where I'm like at the end of them saving Robin. I don't remember what the arc is called. But yeah, I always think of Ozzy a lot whenever I watch One Piece, because they are an octopus. In December, I wrote a letter before winter break because we had to. You know, ELA, that class sucked. And I read it over and like, oh, I cringed so badly. And there was like bad drawings in there, so. And I have, he's kind of a werewolf. He's, I believe, a gray wolf. Yeah, it's hard to probably, okay, it's easier to see on camera. Yeah, he's very cute. I like him. I went to Salvation Army that day and I got some brown dickies to fix up my jeans because there's a big hole in them. And then we also went to Target and I got finally lead colored pencils, which I was super excited about. And actually I used that to color in his hair and her scrunchies because I didn't have like a pink colored pencil near me earlier when I was finishing it up. And here is Storyteller and Mint. I don't draw him a lot, but I kind of miss him. He used to be a Warrior Cat OC, and so like I don't have much for him now, but I do love him. He's so cute. Anyways, here's when I started doing a to-do list, which I do for a bit, pretty consistently, but you know, I stopped that, which I should get started again because these past like 2 weeks I've been so lazy. I haven't done anything. And I went to my mom. She had to get blood work done and something else at the hospital, so I did this, drew a little. Not an amazing drawing, but like also the first time ever really drawing facial hair. I'll be honest, I'm a huge facial hair hater. I do not like it. I don't give it to any of my OCs, and I know I should give it to them, but I can't help it. And this is because I was doing notes for IB Bio and you had to draw, and I was doing like something about pissing, and so I was gonna draw a dog pissing, and so this was like a little practice thing. And here are the prince and princess of when the main storyline's gonna be. I don't think there'll be much focus on them. Yeah, I probably should talk about it. So this sketchbook kind of was falling apart. It's falling apart every 4-ish pages. because of the way it was made, it just, if I didn't tape them, it would tear out. And so at first it was like I was taping it just to be safe, but at the end it was like, oh, if I don't tape this now, like this will fall apart. So there will be almost every 4 pages there'll be tape. Some of them I didn't put tape because there was something I glued onto it covering it. So hopefully it should be fine now that I'm not going to be using it. You know, it'll be sitting on a shelf. And here is when I got really obsessed with Apollo, because I listened to Dead Man by Self. So I gave him I guess he didn't have much lore, but I basically gave him a bunch of lore. I made him way older than he was originally gonna be. And here is the princess. Here's the princess again. Here is Ash, which he was a princess at one point. And Apollo again, and Apollo again, and then with his girlfriend. Or I don't know, I think I don't know what happens to her. I think I might make it where they get married and, you know, she lives till she dies old. Because I think that would be better than her dying young, especially since he has lived for so long. He's like 10,000 years old, so like he could spend an 80 years or 60 more like with her. And here is Maeve. She's so cute. I really like this drawing, except I wanted with her left arm to do something with it, and so I kept trying and I could just never get it right, and then I never ended up finishing it. But recently I was like, you know what, screw it, put it behind her back. I need to get this done. And she's very cute. Oh, I forgot to make her hair darker. Her hair isn't a dark blue, or like it is, but it's like basically black. It's fine. And here's when I went to the mall with my friends. I'm not gonna show this because I have like receipts back there. And then this, I'm very ashamed of this one. I forgot Maeve's horns. And then I accidentally, while highlighting the background, I got some on true. And I was like thinking about fixing it and putting acrylic marker over it, but I never cared enough to do it. And drawing of me. Oh yeah, so at this time, this was just like when I had to do summer school for IB Bio at the beginning-ish. And I came back after missing Monday to go to the mall to see the dubia roach colony, which I mainly take care of. Like occasionally other people will do stuff, but it's like so rare. It's basically just me because I love dubia roaches. And I came back to them just completely infested with ants, and it was terrifying. So I had to go in there, I had to scoop them all out, put them in a bucket, and since they had just had babies, which awful timing, I wish we had this ant infestation before they had babies, I had to go there with a spoon and just like kind of shuffle through it and scoop out all the babies. So my phone ran out of storage, no idea where I left off for my heroic dubia roach saving rescue story. Basically, I had to move them all into a bucket, and the next day, I brought Vaseline over and I transferred them all in, and I added Vaseline to all the sides to keep them out. So I feel like I should talk about this. With Maeve, I was specifically really obsessed with her at this time. So I did this one bot with Dick Grayson, and it was one where he cheated, and so I kind of made Maeve go like a little crazy, where she got really possessive, you know, threatened to kill the person he cheated on her with if he ever so much as talked to her again. And I just really liked the idea of her being crazy, but like that only really like activated like they cheated or something. So yeah, not exactly canon. So I think with it, it's just she never fell in love with anyone enough in my world to like go crazy. But in my story, the way she'll fall in love with True, it'll have taken so long, like quite literally like centuries for them to get together, where like she has learned to care about others before him, so she doesn't rely on him and she wouldn't become insane or like a yandere over it. Yeah. And then I that morning need the green pen, so I broke in half, which means I got to throw it away. And then I was Here, while I was at school, I used the pen I used to write notes, which I don't draw with because it sucks for drawing and it smudges very easily, as you can see. So I drew Bonnie with it. And I thought it was fine because I'd let it sit for a while, and then I tested it with my thumb and I just completely fucked it. So that was devastating. There's Carter. Here's what I was planning with my granny rectangle granny square for my senior jeans. Let me try to fix this. There's so much shadow. Still there, but a little better. Okay, she barely has any eyebrows. Other than that, I really like this drawing of I guess. I even included her tail in there, which I don't really draw that much. Autumn. Slow fall. I had like a huge realization with her that day, where it's like her older brother, he can go back in time and stuff like that, mess around with it like a little bit, not much. And so I was like, why not give her power? If I'm gonna have like one kind of two superheroes, you know, I need more. I was like, why not make her be able to mess with time a little too, so she can kind of speed up and slow down time. So yeah, this is Ginny. Just more of her, and then some side profile practice. Here, my right hand was hurting a lot, so I just decided to try and write and draw with my left hand. Did not go very well, but you know, it was kind of fun. I do it again a little later. Here I was planning out for my IB Bio IA. Here is my Dragon OC Kaya, which I never really draw him as a dragon, so I kind of wanted to try it out. And also we had to do presentations. I forgot for what reason, but it was similar to Shark Tank, and mine was Super Seed. So obviously I tried to make it as funny as I could, and then when I went first, so after me, the first presentation, I was just kind of like, you know, doing what everyone was doing, standard questions and stuff like that. But I was like, this is too boring. And so I decided to go full in on Mr. Wonderful. I was trying to make the business a sketchy, you know, I was gonna make a profit per sale. So yeah, just wanted to make it a little fun. Here's a not really good drawing of Maeve and some more of these stickers. I got these from Five and Below when I went to the mall, because I just wanted like tiny stickers, and so I figured like why not just fill them in empty spaces. Here we had a green onion lab where you cut off it and see how much like it grows based on how much you have left. So I took that and put it in here. And this is Ty. Her actual name is Twyla, I believe. She is a owl. I can't remember the exact kind. She's actually gonna help Noelle to create Tomo and Tama, and eventually Toma. Here's Amelia. I don't want to go much into her. She was a warrior cat OC. No, not. True, and then Moon Goddess, Maeve. I really like this drawing of her. I think it was fun to do it in pencil. Oh. There's no lore with her. She is gonna be just like a figure skater. I have Alias here again, but it's kind of hard to see. Then Idana again. Here's Camila. She's a demi-human police officer, German Shepherd. First German Shepherd OC I made. Arlo then came later, which it's kind of unfair to, you know, make two like the same exact. But you know, they live in different centuries. It's fine. Here's Carter. I do not like this drawing of him. So Lux, I did talk a bit about him, not much, but I did figure out what lore I want to do with him, because I knew I wanted something interesting, but I just didn't know what. Here, I think, ooh, I should have put a sticky note on this. Okay, I'll put Among Us over that. This, lyrics for Family Lines, I think, I'm not exactly sure, but this is Mark's grandma, or 12th Mark's grandma, technically his mom, in his 11th life. And this is her like when she was younger and Mark's mom is a kid hearing stories. So I wanted Reese here to be in a band. He plays the bass. And I needed a guitar player, so here's Kara. Don't really have much story with her, and I gave up on this drawing. I don't like the drawings that much, but you know, I'll come back to her. Here's Bennett. He's the other part with Amelia where they're gonna get together eventually, but like they had a falling out, and Amelia gets kidnapped by Evelyn and Andrew, so he has to save them, or her. Here's True, and I'm not going to show this just in case there's sensitive information, but it's a really bad Mormon AA art pamphlet I got from a man in the suit who came up to my door, which I really don't get why churches do AI art. Very unreligious. Like, hire someone in your church to do it. It's not that hard. Here is a marker drawing of a lemon I really liked. I just really liked how it looked for some reason, and I kind of kept it in my room for too long, so when I finally ate it, it tasted bad. And a random person, and Maeve. She's so cute. This is like one of my favorite drawings of her. Here is Mira, and on my grades for the second semester, 3.71. I showed a kind of friend, because she gave me these hearts, so I showed her the page and stuff like that, and she saw Mira. It's like, oh, like K-pop demon hunters. I was like, what? No. And I completely forgot that they both have Mira, but it's like she's been my OC since 8th grade. Like, there's zero correlation to her and K-pop demon hunters, and so that really upset me, especially since they're both purple. And it's like, come on. Nothing about the K-pop demon hunters. I like K-pop demon hunters, but it's like I do not want them compared to each other. They're nothing alike. Here's me upset because I didn't finish my to-do list. Morgan, Maeve, and True. And since Maeve is from a different planet, she's like not affected by the cold and heat because it's like barely anything compared to her planet. So this takes place in the snow. And here, July calendar. And I really wanted to participate in Art Fight, so I did this page day one. I was like, okay, I'll try and do a spread every other day or something. And then I tried to upload it, and I just couldn't because it was too much. And I tried to like lower down the file size by compressing it, and then there was just no color, and so I gave up. So Art Fight's not happening this year. And Autumn, Alex. And then here is Clyde from the first page. I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna color it in. So here's a little practice one of him deciding the colors. And then Philip's face, I drew him again because I really like him. Here's a USB stick and cuffs. Really bad cuffs. But yeah, they're kind of important to the story because he's gonna later on become a detective. And this is when he steals or copies all the data off of Carter's laptop. And here's Kaya not in his dragon form. I wanted to redesign him a little because he didn't look very dragon-like. He never usually does. So I think this one, it's a little better. Not perfect, but I do like the way he looks way more now. And Storyteller and Naftia. Now these are ages of when all of them were made, of all of them once they were born. I don't want to explain the timeline, you know, just moving on. Then here are some just planning of portfolio pieces, even though I'm not gonna have a portfolio. And a slime person. Here is Lux. So basically, their lore, first human. So they have the best soul in a way where other humans, they will have a human life and then they'll die and then they'll be reborn for like a while to animals, you know, insects and basic animals. But for them it's not the case, since they'll be God's first creation. They just go straight into the next life of being a human, and used to be worshipped until they kind of forgot about him, where he is in a prophecy, to foretold light. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the prophecy will be, but yeah, he's in a prophecy, and so they would find him and teach him a little about magic, take care of him, worship him. Here is more senior gene planning. I don't think there was any previously in this, but yeah, I wanted to redo the planning because it was all in my previous sketchbook and I didn't have to pull that out, and it was a little outdated, so here's like updated-ish plans, some patch ideas. IB math scores came out. I got a 3. I expected a 2. Yeah, it didn't really matter what score I got because I'm gonna go to California State University and they don't accept standard level IB scores, and like it's kind of what I took. So not correct heights, but yeah, I have Hannah, Autumn, Tama, and Tomo. I guess I always like drawing them at least once together. I like drawing them all together every once in a while because they just really got me into drawing in freshman year, and I still have such a special place for them in my heart, even if I don't draw them that much anymore, and their stories are like pretty basic compared to others. Here, when they go to university, I decided to pair up who's going to be roommates and stuff like that. And then here's one of the pairs, Morgana and Hannah. They do have a storyline. They won't be friends, but when they were children, Morgana ran away and Hannah decided to help her and tag along. And here is more of Lux. So to tell Lux, they'll have this birthmark, I guess. Here's more Morgana. I found the pen. I used this in the sketchbook number 7 and I loved it so much. And then I lost it and I was devastated. But I found it on my couch when I was cleaning it, so it was very close all along. And I also found this back from sketchbook number 3 where I did it on a note card before I was bringing my sketchbook with me every day. So I drew Carter and Atticus. And here's Igus again. So Winter and Lux. And then these are the lyrics, Daijoke. I do not remember what the guys who made it's called. Yeah, I really like the song. And it's kind of them, except she'll be the one who dies, not him. So like the first half of the song's really accurate. So they'll fall in love, but very doomed. I'm not gonna say what she did, but she will not be alive for very long. Here's Maeve and her brushing Drew's hair while he's under a sleeping spell for a while. And so that she'll be the one who kind of takes care of him. Not completely, but she'll just like, I wouldn't even say take care of, like she really just brushes his hair, because Kaya the dragon will be the one who takes care of him, does house cleaning, stuff like that. But like she'll come in and she'll just talk to him because they had a couple conversations before he got put into sleep, so she enjoys his presence even if he can't respond back. Winter again. Then I listened to Seventh Heaven and I really liked it, so here's that. Alex and Will. This is Willow. I kind of like thought of her like, wait, she's kind of trans-coded, like she'd be a guy, but I was like, no, that's like, she wouldn't. So it's kind of her wanting to be like her sister in a way, but will eventually come to the terms that he is trans and he'll transition, and that'll be like after the main story, after he's done with Morgana. And here's Clyde again with Hannah, the detective duo. Do a little more planning for the next crochet panel. I have not finished this yet. I like barely started it, 7:10 or something, and I need to finish it so I can start sewing my senior jeans. Here's a little comic. And here's Naftia. I was just really thinking about him, I guess, this day. I wanted to draw something more like scary, but I never ended up doing it. So I wanted to do it on a history work page because I liked the green. But I did realize after after I finished this and glued it in that this is about the Vietnam War. So hopefully that's not too insensitive. Maeve, and then here's the second time I drew with my left hand. I figured since I was drawing with my left hand, after drawing this random person, I was like, why not draw my right hand? And then I was thinking about Arlo because I drew him like, I was thinking about sketchbook 7. I drew him once with like the little dots that I put on like my side of my face in my drawings and like what German Shepherds have, and so I decided to draw him. And here's me upset, which was like, I'm so overdrawing, and then I ended up drawing myself and Ty again, and I was like, wait, I love drawing. So that's kind of funny. Here's me planning out like different warships, like what will be worshipped around time periods. And I want to have it so like a magic regional produce. It's like certain areas they'll have different pieces of produce that will be created and like naturally have magic stuff. So healing mint, that's been the plan since back in my warrior cat days, 7th 8th grade. Shifting orange, and there'll also be like light vines, or like, I guess I should do more research about it, but other than that, I don't know, I need to come up with more. And then here is, this guy still doesn't have a name, but I was thinking about him from sketchbook number 7, and so figured why not draw him. Here's a random lady using a double-sided like marker pen. Yeah, dual marker. And then here are 2 of the main members of a cult, B and E, which are siblings. Oh, this is when I had to go to the frickin' doctor. It wasn't terrible though, the guy was nice, even though I did almost cry because I hate doctors so much. Yeah, here's Maeve going crazy. Oh, I started playing Injustice. I didn't finish it that day. Okay, I started it this day. I think I finished it the next day. And I got really upset because it's like, what the fuck, Dick would not join Superman. And you know what, I was right, because I should have known, but you know, Damien decided to dress up as Nightwing, and oh, I got so upset. I genuinely, when they revealed that in the game and I was fighting him, I cried a little. And I took like 3 times to beat him, I think. I don't like how Injustice, they keep on friggin' killing off Dick Grayson. He's literally the best character in all of DC. So Morgan, True, which I don't like this drawing of True, but I drew him with shorter hair than usual because I decided I want him to start off with short hair and then it'll grow, you know? He'll just keep letting it grow out. And then Flavor Foley this day released such a good song, Street Cat. It's so good, and it's Mark, and I love it so much. I listened to the song like 10 times that night while drawing all these. These are based off the panels, and then I was like, I'm gonna do the entire storyboard tomorrow, and then I'll start animating it. But no, I did not. I got through this one page of it, and then the next day I got through a little bit more, and I gave up. So then, and then I just drew Mark. It's Mark 11. And I used up the space. Here are some sticky notes I filled out while we were out for a while because my dog, he was getting groomed. And we were out for a really long time because you needed like rabies confirmation. So we went there for a 10 a.m. appointment. Turns out we couldn't do it. We had to go to the animal shelter and we had to wait outside for an hour because it didn't open until 11. And then we had to get it, and then we had to go, and then we had to wait for an hour for the grooming to be done. So yeah, here are some done throughout. These are 2 of Rainier, and you know what? I'm gonna actually look for her name this time. Never mind, my sketchbook isn't even in this room, so I still don't remember her name. But Train Girl and Rainier, these are 2 of their kids. And all of these are song titles that I correlate with the characters. Bucktooth, Competent, and Reckless Abandon. Then Final Day. Woo! So this is Blake or Blakely. I did draw her twice in sketchbook number 7. Was not an OC then, but then I came to the realization that I should have her join Carter's friend group with Jenny, Clyde, and Zeba. So I gave her some lore. She is kid of some rich parents who aren't around that often, so she holds the parties. She's very So of course I have been interrupted again. Well, last time it was because of storage, but I've been interrupted by my sister, so I don't know where I left off. But I guess what I didn't explain with the lore, I put dash marks. Yeah, I really like Blake. She's cute. Then here's me upset because, as I said at the beginning, I'm losing my freaking room, and I'm gonna have to stay at my sister's room. The one good thing about it is that we have this one fan thing, and it blows there and it goes throughout the whole house circulation, and it just doesn't go to my room because my room has a curtain that blocks my window. So my room gets really hot, and I can't really use my Wii U that much. I can use it like at night and in the morning for a little bit before it gets hot. So this means that I can play a lot of Batman Arkham City on my Wii U while I'm there, and also some of Injustice, because I want to get good. Like, I really badly want to get good, even though I have nobody to play with, and online servers are dead. But just, I'll feel better about myself if I can be like a hard CPU and know that nobody can beat me. And here's the end. I have Maeve because I probably drew her the most. And I love Maeve so much. I really just could not get the hand right, but I think I got it okay. Third try. I need to take all this stuff out for my next sketchbook. Yeah, that's it. That's sketchbook number 8. Thank you for watching, if anyone did, and if you did, subscribe, please. I really should figure out a way to do outros. Bye.